Zillow Preview for agents launched a couple of weeks ago with 5 brokerages. As of last week, it has 29. With over 800 more signaling interest, that adoption speed means your sellers are going to start asking about it before most agents have read a single article on how it actually works. What none of that covers is explaining is the 2-button problem. And that's the variable that determines whether you keep the lead or Zillow routes it to one of its own partner agents. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how lead routing works inside Zillow Preview and what Zillow takes from the transaction, as well as how the economics compare to EXP's coming soon syndication deal. So you can answer your sellers with confidence instead of guessing. And we're going to walk through the specific percentage Zillow keeps from a scheduled tour conversation, a number most coverage has passed over entirely. What Zillow Preview actually is. Zillow Preview, launched March 17, 2026, lets agents and sellers display listings publicly before they go active on the MLS. Initial launch partners are Keller Williams, RE/MAX, HomeServices of America, United Real Estate, and Side. Listings appear on Zillow and Trulia during the pre-market window with priority placement in search results and saved home alerts. The framing from Zillow and its partners is consistent: broad public access, early buyer momentum, no restricted visibility. Under Zillow's updated listing access standards, that openly accessible design is what makes Preview compliant with its own platform policy. Listings can be submitted directly by agents or via a broker feed. They don't require all the input fields as full MLS listings does, just the basics expected for a customer-facing platform. One point that's been understated: Zillow is not managing your MLS compliance. You are. Your local MLS rules govern what pre-marketing is allowed, how long a listing can sit in pre-market status, and what must happen before it goes active. Zillow Preview is a distribution tool. It doesn't change those obligations. By the way, I'm Doug Smart, co-founder and full-stack developer at Smart Agent Alliance with eXp Realty. We help agents understand where this industry is actually going. And for the agents we sponsor, we built an agent portal with a full resource stack from Smart Agent Alliance and the Wolfpack provided at no cost to them. Now that you know what Zillow Preview is and what it isn't, let's get into the mechanics that actually determine your economics as the listing agent. The 2-button problem. When a buyer finds your Zillow Preview listing, they see 2 engagement options. This isn't a minor design detail. It's the variable that determines who owns the lead. Contact agent. That inquiry routes directly to you. You're the first point of contact. The lead is yours. This is a scenario most agents assume applies to all preview inquiries. Scheduled tour. That request connects the buyer to a Zillow preferred agent, not to you. Zillow's preferred agent network is its existing buyer lead product, where agents pay Zillow for buyer connections. When a tour request converts to a transaction through a preferred agent, Zillow pays the listing agent a share of its revenue from that deal. Real Estate News reporting on Preview's economics puts that share at approximately 10% of the buy-side commission revenue Zillow earns from the preferred agent transaction. 2 distinct economic outcomes. 1 button, and the question worth asking before you put a listing into Zillow Preview is, how do buyers in the market and price range typically behave when they find a listing they're interested in? If the tour requests are the dominant engagement path, not contact messages, scheduled tour is the primary mechanism on your listing. That means Zillow is capturing a meaningful portion of the buyer side opportunity your listing generates during the preview window. That's not necessarily a bad trade, but it is a trade. Make it with full information. What Zillow gets from Preview. Zillow's core business is connecting buyers with agents and earning revenue from those connections. Its preferred agent program is the existing monetization layer. Agents pay Zillow for placement and lead connections. When a tour request comes through Preview and route to a preferred agent who closes the deal, Zillow earns its standard revenue from that connection and returns a portion of it to the listing agent as the Preview participation structure. The deeper strategic question is what Zillow gains by establishing itself as the first stop for pre-market inventory. Zillow Preview listings are exclusively available on Zillow and Trulia during the pre-market window, not simultaneously pushed to Realtor.com, Homes.com, or other portals. The transparency framing is genuine. Listings are publicly visible, but the distribution is Zillow first, not market first. For Zillow, Preview solves a real strategic problem. If listings increasingly flow into pre-market channels, Zillow can't display. its customer traffic advantage arose. By creating a compliant pre-market product and becoming the destination for the inventory, Zillow stays in the discovery chain even as the listing landscape fragments. That benefits Zillow regardless of whether it's the optimal outcome for the listing agent or the seller. Zillow Preview versus eXp coming soon. eXp coming soon syndication deal launching April 15th is the most direct structural alternative for eXp agents. 4 variables separate the two programs. Distribution breadth. Zillow Preview sends your listings to Zillow and Trulia only during the pre-market window. eXp's coming soon deals send listings to Realtor.com, Homes.com, and ComeHome.com simultaneously. Lead routing. Zillow Preview splits routing based on buyer behavior. Contact agent goes to you. Scheduled tour goes to Zillow Preferred Agent Network. How Realtor.com, Homes.com, and ComeHome handle buyer inquiries on eXp pre-market listing hasn't been disclosed at the same level of detail. That's worth confirming before you make promises to a seller about where their leads will go. Platform economics. Zillow Preview includes a revenue participation structure tiered to its preferred agent network. Approximately 10% of buyer-side commission revenue back to the listing agent if a preferred agent closes the deal. Whether Realtor.com, Homes.com, or ComeHome have comparable structures inside eXp's pre-market deal hasn't been publicly disclosed. Exclusivity. Zillow Preview listings are exclusively on Zillow and Trulia during the pre-market window. eXp's deal distribution to Realtor.com, Homes.com, and ComeHome without giving any of those portals preferential rights over the others. One additional note on the eXp distribution. ComeHome is the portal through which Google and House Cannery have been experimenting with embedding listing details directly in Google search results in select markets. If that experiment expands, eXp coming soon listings would have pre-market presence in Google search before broad MLS distribution. That is a longer-term bet, not a guarantee, but it's not an arbitrary inclusion in the distribution set. How to decide what to do. There's no universal right answer between these two programs. 3 variables determine which one fits your market and your listings. Variable 1, where does your buyer traffic come from? If buyers in your market skew heavily towards Zillow, early visibility and priority placement in preview has real value. If buyer traffic is more distributed across portals, the multi-portal reach of eXp's deal is likely the stronger pre-market strategy. Variable 2, how do buyers in your price range behave on Zillow? In price ranges where buyers send contact messages before requesting tours, the 2-button problem is less acute. Contact agent is the primary path and those inquiries come to you. However, in price ranges where buyers move quickly to tour requests, scheduled tours the dominant engagement mechanism, and Zillow's preferred agent routing means the listing agent doesn't get the lead, but they may get an extra 10% for the sale. Variable 3, what does your MLS allow? Both programs are subject to local MLS rules. If your MLS has a short coming soon window, the value of any pre-market syndication program is constrained by that window regardless of which portals receive the listing. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe so you don't miss our coverage as these programs keep developing. If you want to see how Zillow's platform economics compare to your actual net income at eXp, that video is on screen now. And for the full picture on how eXp's tools and distribution infrastructure compare to what other brokerages are building, check out the other videos. See you on the next one.